Barron Trump's choice to give up his first-class seat for an elderly veteran took everyone by surprise, especially with the astonishing family secret that unfolded during the journey. The unfolding events left the entire aircraft in a hushed silence. The atmosphere buzzed with a delightful chaos and a sense of eager expectation as travelers nestled into their seats, while the cabin lights danced softly in the dimness. On a brisk morning at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, Flight 247 to Newark was filled to capacity, every seat taken, every traveler eager for the journey ahead. A young man, comfortably nestled in first class, found himself amidst the bustling crowd of travelers. His face was instantly familiar to many, even though his manner suggested he preferred to remain unnoticed. Young Barron Trump, now a towering teenager exceeding 6 feet, sat serenely by the window, engrossed in the pages of a hardcover book. Though he rarely stepped into the limelight like his family, the name on his boarding pass commanded a moment of intrigue. An elderly gentleman in his late 70s made his way into the economy section, shuffling across the aisle with a gentle, deliberate pace. With a boarding pass clutched in his hand and an aged leather duffel bag by his side, he moved with purpose. His silver hair was carefully styled, his back bore the weight of years, and each step he took was measured and intentional. The man strolled past and the passengers shared knowing looks. His military jacket, adorned with faded patches and decorations, whispered tales of service and sacrifice. Whispers floated through the crowd as some exchanged curious glances, pondering the tales of his past, while others stood in silent appreciation of the serene grace that marked his every step. He found himself nestled in a seat at the back of the aircraft, caught between the lively chatter of a businesswoman and the fidgeting of a restless toddler. Meanwhile, the flight attendants swiftly moved through the aisles, ensuring that every passenger was settled and ready for takeoff. A wave of unease swept through the atmosphere as the cabin door clicked shut. The elderly veteran's companion had grown increasingly restless, adamantly declaring that a change of seat was necessary. The seasoned veteran expressed regret for the disruption. From his plush perch in first class, he watched the incident unfold with keen interest. He leaned slightly into the aisle, his brows knitting together in deep thought. With a silent determination, he reached for the summon button, calling forth a flight attendant without uttering a single word. Barron murmured gently, "Might I have the chance to swap seats with the person in the military jacket?" The flight attendant paused for a moment, her eyes narrowing in surprise. First-class passengers lifted their eyes from their tablets and newspapers, curiosity flickering in their expressions. Their curiosity soared to new heights. The young Trump's proposal caught many off guard, especially in a realm where entitlement often went unquestioned. Yet, his voice carried a steadfast resolve, and his demeanor radiated genuine intent. The attendant replied, "Allow me to check," as she hurried toward the rear of the plane, her tone laced with unexpected intrigue. The whispers in first class grew louder as Barron rose to claim his carry-on luggage. A woman from the opposite side leaned in, her voice gentle yet firm. You don't have to do that." With a hint of confusion in her voice, she remarked, "You paid for this seat." Barron responded only with a smile and a casual shrug. Certain individuals hold a greater worth. What followed would transform the very essence of the flight. The flight attendant reappeared shortly after, her expression a blend of intrigue and respect. He expressed his eagerness to switch, she conveyed to Barron, her voice quivering just a touch. It was a rare moment indeed when someone chose to give up a first-class seat, especially a teenager whose name was sure to turn heads. With a warm smile and a courteous nod, Barron reached for his bag, making his way down the slender aisle with purpose. As he moved through the crowd, whispers filled the air, with some passengers nudging one another, eager to confirm the unfolding scene before their eyes. A handful of individuals reached for their smartphones, quietly seizing the moment with discreet images. The man positioned towards the rear captured Barron's focus, yet he seemed entirely indifferent to the scrutiny he received. The seasoned veteran looked utterly perplexed at the moment Barron stepped in. "Young man, are you truly certain?" he asked, his voice a blend of authority and experience. "You are not required to undertake this task for me." "I am more than willing to," Barron responded, reaching out his hand. "I am grateful for your assistance." The veteran paused for a moment, weighing the significance of the gesture before deciding how to respond. "Kindly, I offer you my seat." Yet, the honesty reflected in Barron's eyes was unmistakable. The man gradually stood, his grip on Barron's hand strong and resolute. "I truly appreciate it." The whispers among the passengers grew louder as the seasoned traveler strode confidently toward first class. A young mother in row 15 leaned closer to her adolescent daughter and murmured, "Did you see that?" He just gave up his seat without a word. The industrialist beside the Baron leaned in, curiosity flickering in his gaze as he arched an eyebrow. He murmured softly, almost as if sharing a secret with the air around him, "I've never witnessed anything quite like that during a flight." Barron gracefully settled into the empty economy seat, skillfully maneuvering his tall frame to accommodate the snug confines. He seemed utterly relaxed, brushing off the curious glances from those around him. A flight attendant quietly approached, asking if he required anything, but Barron merely shook his head and returned to the pages of his book. The veteran found himself enveloped in a wave of comfort, the plush seat in first class offering an unexpected kindness that took him by surprise. With a subtle shift, he repositioned the armrest, his hands quivering ever so slightly. A flight attendant glided over to him, presenting a complimentary drink and a cozy blanket, her smile inviting warmth and comfort. She clarified that the young man suggested you take this seat. The seasoned warrior gave a faint smile. "Years have passed since I have been subjected to such treatment," he whispered softly. The gesture, though modest in its execution, resonated profoundly as he turned his gaze toward the economy section, where Barron sat with an air of tranquility, fully absorbed in his reading. For a fleeting instant, the cabin appeared to release a breath, as the weight of boarding melted away. The tale was just beginning as the engines came alive with a thunderous roar, the flight ascending into the sky while the passengers found their places and the plane glided onto the runway. A seemingly simple gesture of goodwill was on the brink of unfolding into an unexpected twist that would catch everyone off guard. The seasoned warrior then began to share his tale. The cabin resonated with a gentle hum, a soothing backdrop as the flight ascended to its cruising altitude. As the flight attendants glided gracefully through the aisles, presenting an array of beverages and snacks, the atmosphere buzzed with an unmistakable sense of intrigue and excitement, far from the ordinary. The elderly veteran, now comfortably nestled in first class, drew the gaze and admiration of the passengers around him. As the tale began to weave its intricate threads, the seasoned figure remained still, savoring his water and peering thoughtfully through the window. Eyes darted back and forth between Barron Trump in the economy section and the veteran, as curiosity hung thick in the air. Soft murmurs of praise began to circulate. A subtle quiver danced through his hands as they lay upon his lap. He then turned to the middle-aged woman seated next to him, a woman with kind eyes, as if drawn by the gravity of the moment. "I must share a thought," he started, his voice carrying just enough weight to reach the ears of those present. The seasoned warrior gently repositioned the small pin on his lapel, a symbol of valor, and let out a heavy sigh. "Once upon a time, a young man and his family bestowed upon me this very seat, a gesture that echoes the moment they saved my life." The woman gazed at him, her eyes filled with intrigue. The veteran settled into his chair, his voice gaining strength as he started to weave the tale of long-ago days during the Vietnam War. The woman stood there, momentarily stunned, her eyes wide and blinking in surprise. "What is the meaning of the term veteran? In a distant land, I found myself away from my loved ones, navigating the challenges of solitude and the absence of support. Once, I faced a harrowing ordeal, enduring a grave leg injury from being shot not once, but twice. Upon my return to the United States, I found myself in a state of wonder and confusion, wandering aimlessly, devoid of intention, lost in the void." Though his voice wavered, he pressed on with determination. "In the end, I found my way to New York, seeking to reshape my existence. Once upon a time, I found myself without a home, struggling to gather enough coins to secure a meal. On a fateful day, I crossed paths with a man outside a diner who keenly noticed the plight I found myself in. He didn't just pass me $1 and walk away. Fred Trump, the patriarch of Donald Trump, took a seat beside me, his attention fully captured by my tale." The woman's eyes sparkled with surprise, drawing the attention of a few nearby passengers who, intrigued, leaned in closer to catch every word. She asked about Fred Trump. The seasoned warrior nodded, a wistful look crossing his face. Even though he had no obligation to me, he made certain that I had a roof over my head and a job to aid my journey toward recovery. He never asked for anything in return. Instead, he simply said, "You serve this country. It is the least we can do." Those words will forever echo in my memory. The dialogue had ensnared the interest of numerous first-class travelers, and the tale started to weave its way through the cabin. Throughout my journey, a deep yearning lingered within me to convey my heartfelt appreciation to his family, yet the chance to do so always seemed to elude me. As time flowed onward, I found myself convinced that the moment had slipped away, forever beyond my grasp. The veteran's voice grew more powerful as he pressed on, his eyes glistening with deep emotion. "Barron, the grandson of that remarkable man, has bestowed upon me a gift that will forever linger in my memory." What are the odds of such a tale unfolding? He was lost in the pages of his book, his long legs awkwardly folded into the tight confines of the space, oblivious to the growing hum of activity that surrounded him in the economy section of the aircraft. Yet, within the confines of first class, the veteran's revelation sparked a deeper feeling. As the passengers cast furtive glances at one another, whispers of disbelief rippled through the air, igniting a fervor of astonishment. A flight attendant leaned in closer to the seasoned traveler. With a gentle tone, she asked, "Shall I share the details you've just revealed with him?" The seasoned man paused, contemplating, before responding with a slight shake of his head, "No, not at this moment." Encourage the young one to share their thoughts. At this moment, it is not essential for him to grasp the importance of this to me. Yet, the passengers could not contain their wonder. What began as a humble gesture of kindness now felt imbued with a profound sense of purpose, as though the cosmos had conspired to bring forth this very moment. Then, an even more remarkable occurrence unfolded. The veteran held his tongue for a moment, his tail hanging in the atmosphere like a silent dare. In the midst of the gathering, passengers caught each other's eyes, some leaning closer to whisper their musings, creating an air of intrigue and connection. The journey transformed from a simple trip into an experience of deeper significance. The person sitting directly opposite the veteran was the one who shattered the stillness. In his early 40s, he bore a wary yet inviting demeanor. "I beg your pardon for the interruption," he spoke, his voice unwavering yet laced with feeling. "Your tale struck a profound chord within me. My grandfather, a veteran of Vietnam, frequently shared tales about the profound impact of the small acts of kindness from those waiting for them back home." The seasoned man nodded, a gentle smile gracing his lips as he reminisced about the generosity of Fred Trump. "It is the little moments, my boy. Many do not realize the profound effect a simple act of kindness can create. Back then, I thought my life had come to an end. Yet, the kindness of that man granted me a second chance." A young mother, gently cradling her sleepy toddler in her arms, called out softly from across the aisle. "Ah, my father often shared those very words. Though he had never served, he often shared with me the wisdom that when someone elevates you, even in the slightest way, it is only right to return the favor. It unfolds like a series of interconnected events." Barron's actions today illuminate the enduring power of kindness as a cherished virtue. The seasoned man's gaze grew tender as he absorbed the words. It holds true, and it encompasses more than just magnificent displays. At times, simply being seen and recognized can create a significant ripple in the journey of one's existence. This was true for me during Fred Trump's lifetime, and it is a feeling that his grandson has echoed recently. A flight attendant with emotion etched on her face perched on the armrest of an unoccupied seat beside the veteran as the passengers wove their tales, each one resonating with deeper sentiment than the one before. "I hadn't intended to speak up," she confessed. "Yet, my brother embarked on a journey to Iraq. He kept it mostly to himself. Yet, when he came back, he shared that the memories that lingered were those in which people took a moment to show their appreciation or lend a helping hand, no matter how small. At times, those fleeting instances became the very essence of inspiration that fueled his journey." The seasoned figure acknowledged with a knowing nod, his face reflecting a serene blend of pride and understanding. "Your brother is indeed right." Barron noticed several passengers in economy casting glances in his direction, their expressions a blend of wonder and appreciation. In the midst of chaos, it is often the little moments that anchor us, reminding us of our strength when the world seems to unravel. He was still unraveling the intricate tapestry of the situation, piecing together its many threads. Yet, he offered a courteous nod to a woman who beamed at him. Though small in scale, his gesture sparked a cascade of thoughts and links that took everyone on that flight by surprise. The veteran faced the flight attendant and remarked, "You see, I've always held the belief that gratitude doesn't end with the person who helps you, it grows and evolves. Fred Trump played a pivotal role in helping me rebuild my life. Since that time, I have committed myself to the noble pursuit of helping others every single day." Today, Barron brought this to my attention. Life has a delightful way of unfolding, doesn't it? The aircraft experienced a fleeting moment of turbulence, resulting in a gentle jolt for the passengers, but the ambiance in the cabin held steady and serene. The dialogues unfolded like a shared release, weaving a tapestry of human strength, appreciation, and compassion that bound everyone on board together in an unseen embrace. As the aircraft began its descent, an unexpected moment unfolded, capturing the essence of surprise in the air. As the aircraft glided down towards Newark, the lively chatter of first-class passengers faded into silence. The seasoned warrior sat with his hands neatly clasped, staring out the window, adrift in thought. Within the cabin, passengers shared subtle glances, some still captivated by the unexpected twist of fate. As the captain's voice echoed through the cabin, signaling the final approach, the attentive flight attendant made her way toward Barron in economy, her footsteps light and purposeful. She lowered herself gently, aligning her gaze with his, and whispered tenderly, "I wanted to share that the gentleman you graciously offered your seat to recounted a remarkable tale about your family. Are you ready to listen?" Barron raised his gaze from the pages, intrigue sparking within him. With a deliberate motion, he gently shut the cover, obscuring the title from the curious eyes around him. He responded with a tone that was both simple and filled with curiosity. The attendant paused, a flicker of uncertainty crossing his face, as though he were searching for just the right words to convey his thoughts. "Long ago, your grandfather, Fred Trump, stood by him in his hour of greatest need. He shared that your grandfather offered him a home and a job, all without any thought of receiving something in return. Today, you wove a thread of compassion for him, a gentle reminder of that enduring generosity." Barron held his tongue for a moment, the air thick with unspoken thoughts. Though his face held steady, a gentle warmth flickered in his eyes, revealing the gravity of the revelation beginning to envelop him. He finally remarked, "That's something, isn't it?" The flight attendant offered a warm smile in response. "Absolutely." I thought it would be important to share that the veteran was getting ready to step off as the aircraft made its landing. To the astonishment of everyone present, he made his way straight to the economy section, meticulously examining the rows until they arrived at Barron. The seasoned warrior reached out to the young lad, who was now on his feet, preparing to gather his belongings. The young man found himself momentarily stunned. I felt a deep desire to convey my thanks face to face. "Your choices today have completed my journey. Your lineage is rich with kindness, and you have carried that torch forward with grace. Always recognize the profound importance of these moments." Barron grasped his hand with a steady grip, his voice calm yet resolute. "I simply played my part, sir. The credit belongs to you." The passengers watched the exchange with keen interest, and a hush fell over the cabin. Some of them had glistening eyes, reflecting deep emotions. Others adorned their faces with subtle, contemplative smiles. The bond shared by these two men, separated by generations, stood as a vibrant reminder of the profound impact of empathy and gratitude. As the passengers stepped off, a wave of gratitude washed over them, with many pausing to express their thanks to Barron for his thoughtful gesture. Others gathered around the veteran, offering handshakes and heartfelt thanks for his service. The ambiance was truly one of a kind, a rare experience that had never graced the skies on any flight prior. Before he set off, the veteran paused, turning back to offer a respectful tip of his cap to Barron standing at the gate. Barron nodded, his usual stoic facade giving way ever so slightly. "You possess a kind spirit, my boy. Hold on to that always." With a swift motion, he reached for his phone, crafting a brief message while making his way to the baggage claim. With a moment of pause, he finally chose to hit send, the words on the screen declaring, "Grandpa would have been proud of me today." This tale illustrates how one simple gesture of goodwill can ripple through lives, weaving bonds between people in ways we might never have imagined. In the tapestry of existence, the threads of kindness, gratitude, and empathy weave a narrative that transcends the boundaries of time and space, forging connections that endure through the ages. Kindly share this tale if it has sparked inspiration within you. Let us weave our words together and remind the world that kindness is a treasure worth cherishing. Should you wish to immerse yourself in more tales like this, we invite you to subscribe and embark on another remarkable journey with us.